Hey, welcome back to A Faster Me. Today we're out at CBR number 6. This is the finale. And I'd like to start off by just giving my congratulations to Eli Watson for taking the overall Omnium points, Tony Dominguez for grabbing second. Those guys had a really nice battle the last couple weeks. Tony was strong with the yellow jersey for a good part of the series. Eli took advantage of the double points weekend a couple weeks ago and took second, and that bumped him up into first place. Today they both fought pretty hard, and I think Eli just edged him out. Eli got second place, I think, today, and Tony is maybe, I don't know, somewhere fifth, seventh, I can't remember. Tony was fifth, yeah. So Eli ends up taking the stage, and I'm not 100% sure. I think that's Brandon New York that was in third for the overall Omnium. But anyway, congratulations to those guys. It was a good, hard-fought series, and it was fun just to kind of be a part of it. So anyway, this is the Cat 4 race here, and I just tried to get a good start here, but unfortunately the rider that was in front of me on the line couldn't clip in, and a couple guys got off the front early, so I'm a little further back than I want to be here. It's not that big of a deal. Maybe sitting like, I don't know, somewhere between 20th and 25th place. It's early in the race though, and it's a long race, so I'm not too bad here. I didn't really pull off my strategies too well this weekend. This race right here, I just planned on kind of taking it a little bit easy. The last couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of work on the front, which is fine. It's kept me out of trouble, kept me in good position. And, maybe I was lazy today. I'm not exactly sure. But I decided to sit back just a little bit and kind of try to conserve some energy. And, it kind of backfired on me. So, it's another thing. This downhill right here is kind of weird. You see we're only doing 27, 28 miles per hour. Sometimes we're doing 30 up the front straight, which is uphill, and we're only doing 25 to 28 on the downhill, which we easily could have been carrying 30 to 35 miles per hour on that downhill, carrying momentum into this little kicker here. But for whatever reason, not just back here where I'm at, but just the entire race, the front, the back, everybody was just on the brakes on that downhill. It's kind of weird because once you make that left, then we're up into a headwind, small kicker, and then another couple percent right here, just a little, maybe a little 1.5%, 2% kicker here. Both races today, I did 2 races today. This is the first one, the Cat 4. The Cat 4 is always going to be a little bit smoother than like the 4 or 5, but I don't know. Today everybody was pretty aggressive today. Like I said, not so much in this race, but it was just a lot of weird lines, a lot of stop and go, and that's kind of the nature of Cat 4 and 5 races anyway. It's no big deal. It's just racing, and hopefully for me, I like it a little smoother. So it's definitely not my type of race necessarily, but it was still good. We had a lot of fun today. So again, as you see here, going downhill, we should be carrying some really good speed, but as you see, it bunches up right here. And I don't know what's wrong with this left-hand turn, but everybody's on the brakes. See a little wobble there because no one's expecting for the guys in front to hit their brakes, but by the end of this turn, we're down to 26 miles per hour, so definitely could be carrying, like I said before, well over 30 through that turn. And I wish we did. It will stretch us out a little bit more and just get the flow a little better. But, that's racing. You got to adapt and deal with the situation or the conditions and just go from there. So it's nobody's fault but our own or my own if that's, if I'm having a brake check going into those turns. After a lap or two, you got to just adjust and get to another spot or go up to the front. So anyway, we had a thick field. Both fields were pretty heavy. Not exactly sure the number. I think this field ended up having we had just about 70 riders, I think. A few didn't finish, but we had almost 70 riders. I think 66 actually, out of the 100 limit that we had here. And when you get that many people, this is a really short course. It's not really tight. There's good room, but it does bottleneck here and there. So as you see, I'm passing Jack right here on the side. Jack kind of got knocked out of the Omnium on the double points weekend, but they just flipped spots kind of. Jack moved up. Jack moved out of the race. I think he was third entering that double points, and I think Eli was like sixth or something. So Eli moved up to second. Jack kind of got bumped out of the race just from he was doing a lot of work, and it ended up that he just didn't have a great finish a couple weeks ago. So, but yeah, this course, it was my first time doing it. It was a little more difficult than I thought, than I expected. I knew it was short and fast. We averaged almost 27 miles per hour. I kind of slowed down at the end, so I was only 26 something. I don't even know exactly, maybe like 26.3 or so. I saw the guys that were on the front were 27.1, 27.2, stuff like that. But yeah, it's a short course, but it's a little more difficult than I thought, just with than I expected, just with the surging and the little kickers here and there. I don't know why we were down to at some points we were down to 20 miles per hour, and then of course 600 watts out of every turn. So the guy in the Trek suit there, I'm not sure who he is, but he made he was trying to move up, and he just came across maybe 4 feet to the left, and that's a pretty big jump to the left, and kind of surprised people. I know the guy that was in front of him that he kind of cut off wasn't too happy about it, but no harm, no foul, I guess, and it's just racing. A lot of times as guys, there's so much testosterone flying around in the air. You could say hi to a guy in a race and he might cuss you out. People are a little bit on edge sometimes, and you get almost 100 guys racing, and yeah, there's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some not so smart decisions, stuff like that. But honestly, there's no need to really get that upset about it. We're in a spot where we're in the learning stages. This is the game improvement categories. We're not hitting blades yet. This is the game improvement category, and everyone out here, there's a lot of strong people, but not everybody's great racers yet. In fact, I would say none of us are great racers yet. So anyway, this little kicker here, it was taxing me. I probably just wasn't taking it correctly. I should have moved earlier to a more free-flowing position, but I was hitting at least 600 to 800 watts, 500 watts out of that turn. And then here I almost get hit by a car. How this car gets, here, I don't know. I don't know how he got on the course. The course was blocked off pretty well. But I think at this time right here, when we go by this corner on the right, there's no sheriff car there. And usually there's a sheriff's vehicle sitting there, so maybe the sheriff stepped away for a second if you looked over there to the right where the cones are, and somehow that car got on the course. Luckily he was paying attention, and it's hard to say he was paying attention, but either way he ended up stopping his vehicle and we were able to get by. So now I'm pretty comfortable here. I'm not too far back. Honestly, I'm a little bit too far back than where I should be, but I figure, let me just chill, save some energy, and I'll move up a little bit later. There was a lot of jockeying for position to begin with, and it was kind of hairy sometimes. This race isn't as bad, like I said, as the 4-5, but most of us race both races anyway, so it's pretty much the same crowd, just mixing a couple more Cat 5s in there. But it was kind of cool here. It's it's flowing fairly well, and I was just like, okay, let's chill and save some energy for the end. Again, this is the worst. We take that corner the worst ever. It should be fast and flowing, but I don't want to beat a dead horse too much. So yeah, I rode with a lot of the PRT guys a lot these two races. We just end up being in the same spot often at the same time. So, and all of us kind of stayed to the inside these last both of these races. So obviously you're going to be around a lot of the same people. And just it's fun to me, like just getting to know people, getting to race with them. You can all see how each other rides. You can know if you want to ride someone's wheel or not, or if you want to stay away from them. Just, there's little things that you get to learn about the Peloton once you ride with people more often. Like par for the course, also this race had a lot of preems, but had a lot of preems like normal. I think some of them were for points as well, so it keeps it spicy. And honestly, it was a pretty fast race. Like you see, we're going 30 miles per hour on the uphill here, uphill finish, and then we're going to slow down here. Just that's just how the race played out. Here was one of the spots on the downhill where you can use to move up. When the riders or when the Peloton's staying to the right here, like past the double yellow, you can use it easily to move up, not too much energy. You see I'm doing, freewheeling actually right here, and I moved up a couple spots. The only thing is you don't want to get too deep in there into this turn, because depending on which lap it is, everybody's taking that turn a little different. So you definitely can't be late going in there. Your typical dive bomb, you can't be late going in there. You can move up, but you gotta kind of get there early and then leave some room for that turn. I think in the second we'll probably settle down for a little bit, do a couple laps at like a almost too slow of a speed, but that's one of the things about lower categories is it's hard for people to sacrifice in the lower categories because everybody's trying to cat up. Everyone's trying to get to a different level of racing, and most of us are fairly new to this, so we all want to kind of make our name in racing. So one of the reasons these lower category races slow down like this is because there is no team controlling the race. There's no group of people that have the same game plan, and that's going to keep it fast or whatever. And when you do that, unfortunately, you got to sacrifice some of your racers, and a lot of people aren't willing to sacrifice even if they do have a team. Everybody wants a higher finish, and to truly control the race, that means some guys aren't going to finish that high. They're going to do a lot of work early. They might get blown off the back later, and when you're in the lower categories, a lot of people just don't want to sacrifice to do that, which is understandable. There's only two of us in here, so me and George. So yeah, we're definitely not going to be setting the pace up front just for everybody else. So that's just one of the things with lower categories is the dynamics are always going to be a little different than when you move up to say Cat 3 and beyond, because then at some point for your team to have success, when every rider in the field is strong, you're going to need to use some team tactics. And that's one of the reasons why, Go Fast, Bros Ride Bikes, some of the teams that do race as a team and use team tactics. That's one of the reasons why, when they're on their game, they're able to control the Cat 4 and Cat 5 races so well. They have decent numbers. Their guys are not selfish. There's always a couple guys dedicated just to set the pace or to attack or whatever. And it's really easy in the lower categories if you're willing to work as a team. I shouldn't say easy. It's just more doable in the lower categories if you're willing to work as a team to kind of control the race and have a decent game plan, as long as you have the athletes to do it as well. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of strong riders in this field. Everybody has a little bit different riding characteristics, but there's definitely some very strong riders in this field that just chose to stay in Cat 4. I'm sure next year they'll cat up to Cat 3 or whatever and make some noise in the next category as well. I spent a lot of time these first half of the race behind Dane here from Bros Ride Bikes, just because he's a wide body. I knew I'd get a good draft from him. He rides smart, and I know he wouldn't shuffle himself too far back. So, some people consider that lazy or whatever to ride somebody else's wheel. I consider it smart, because as he fights for his position and holds his position, that's something I don't have to do. I don't have to really fight or make a way I can just hold his wheel and ride his energy or whatever and save some of mine. And that's true with any rider that you choose to follow. I mean, hopefully we all choose to follow a smart wheel, and that's going to be a lot less work for us. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out that way, though. But yeah, so far, my goal is pretty much accomplished. I'm up here, I don't know, I'm in the top 20 for sure. I don't know if I'm 15th, something like that. It's stretched out, though, so the front looks like it's really far away. But yeah, this is basically what I wanted to do, sit here, not do too much work. I didn't want to have to chase down moves like I've been doing the last couple weeks, even though, the racing was pretty good for me. I wanted to save a little bit more this time, and unfortunately, in a little bit, I'm going to get caught out on that's going to backfire on me. So no big deal, though. I mean, racing is racing. I don't care what category you're in. You're out there competing, racing from Cat 5 to the pro field. We all have like a different but similar experience, and that's just part of the sport. I think we need to enjoy that a little more and just say, hey, I'm racing my bike. I don't have to worry about what category I'm in, if I'm a 3, 4, 2, whatever. It's just, hey, it's a bike race. Let's go out there and enjoy it. See a couple moves going off the right side there. I had said the same thing last week, but once it bunches up like this and gets real slow, you see we're only doing 24 miles per hour. Anytime it gets real slow like this, you're definitely going to have people that were in the back trying to move up now, and they're definitely going to have some attacks on the left or the right or whatever, and you can easily get swarmed and shuffled back a couple positions. So here it's getting a little tight. I was on my man here with the orange and gray, but the rider here next to me with the rainbow, I tell him, yeah, slide in, and I'll just slide in behind him. And I think that's an important point. Sometimes you get people that are just fighting for every single wheel throughout the entire race, and it makes it a little chaotic sometimes. And honestly, we're 15, 16 minutes into the race or whatever, and it's not that important to fight for that wheel at that moment. Some things are worth fighting for, some are not. So I think it's just something we need to think about is when is it important to fight for that wheel? Obviously, when we're getting down to some of the more critical laps, it's definitely important to hold your position and maybe fight for a wheel or defend a wheel. But often in the early laps, it's not that important, and there's no reason to be that aggressive or shut somebody out or cut them off or whatever that early in the race. It's just good communication. Leave a little room. You can slot in right behind the person, or you can tell that person, hey, just slot in behind me, and you can move up and keep your wheel, whatever. But I think sometimes it's just a smart thing to do instead of using so much energy or causing an incident fighting for a wheel on, a lap 6 or something. It doesn't make that much sense. I see TJ from Major Motion to my left over there, kind of moving up. I think he's riding maybe with only a couple riders, maybe him and Lance in this race. It was good to see in the next race he ends up having like a big team. They got like 6, 7 guys in the 4 or 5 race. And that's pretty cool to see some of the bigger teams starting to form. We did the same thing. We have a lot of Cat 5 riders. So a lot of, my team, PAA, we did both races as well. So there's only 2 of us in the Cat 4 field, but we got like 5 guys in Cat 5. So in the second race, we had like 6 or 7 guys. I don't know how many, but basically everybody. So that's Ray over in front of me in the black kit from Sirius Cycling. Ray's another guy that I like to sit behind every so often. I just like his smooth riding style, and usually I can trust his wheels, so I don't have to worry about braking in the corners and stuff like that. He's going to try to hold momentum. I love seeing people pedal through the corners. Believe it or not, this crit, even though it's a pretty small track, you can pedal through every single corner, even at fairly high speed, you can pedal through every corner. The road is wide enough. If we're taking proper lines, you can definitely pedal through the corner. You'll see a lot of people are coasting through the corner. I know people are just afraid to clip their pedal, but it's just something we have to learn is like, what lean angle are we at? I think right there, I don't know if that was Tony right there, where I don't know if he came down or not. And Tony was like, "Hey, don't worry about it, Anthony. I got skills." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not worried. I know you can handle your bike." But sometimes it's just me running my mouth because that's what I do, unfortunately. You know, sometimes I just like to talk in a race, just communicate, and some people don't mind that. Others get annoyed by it, but unfortunately or fortunately, that's my personality. Um, and Tony and I talk in every race anyway. We don't have any problems or anything like that. We like to have fun out there, and it's fun for us because we're one of the two 50-year-olds out there. Everybody else is, mainly somewhere between 20 years old and about 35 years old, and you got two of us old guys out there. And Tony's had a great year. I haven't had the best year this year, but it doesn't matter. I'm still can hold my own usually out there. So yeah, it's just having a good time. All right, we're about halfway through this race now. So of course things get a little more serious here. I don't mean serious as in anything special. It's just you got to pay a little bit more attention now when you get the halfway point. This is somewhere where sometimes moves can stick. There's definitely going to be multiple people that may try to, try a breakaway or so, and you can easily get caught out here. So, and this is where I basically make my mistake. When I'm here, we're doing, just under, I don't know, we're doing like a minute and a half lap. So you got to think we only have like maybe 8 laps left or so. I don't really know. I'm not that good at math, but if you think we have like 8 or 9 laps left, you got to move up. And so I try it here, try to use low watts as I can, move up a little bit. I do move up maybe 10 spots, but this is the problem when you start so far back and you get back to 30th or something, you move up 10 spots and you're only in 20th still, And if you can see how thick it is here, we're not going that fast again. We're down to 22 miles per hour. And all the work you do when you're going this slow doesn't really matter because people are going to pass again on the left or the right. And you just can't stop anything. You can't do anything about it. The pace has to be higher in order for us not to get swarmed. It's just taxing, super slow speed, sprint out of every corner. And, it's a lot of work just moving back and forth, moving up, getting shuffled back, then move up again. It's pretty taxing. As you can see, my heart rate's 181. That's above my threshold. My threshold's, like 170 something, mid 170s. I'm definitely above my heart rate threshold here. And yeah, I don't even know if it goes down for the rest of the race. Hopefully I find some recovery. Right here is another opportunity to move up. So I pass about 7-8 people. And, like I said, this turn gets taken so slow, I can't go any faster. I don't want to dive bomb the corner. So I just chill here. And even now, I'm in a good 12th position or something, and this is a little better. But yeah, it's still not great. You know what I mean? We need it a little faster. We needed to stretch out, and that's just a safer position. That's Connor in front of me right there to the left from Velo Kings. I don't know what happened to Connor today. I mean, he Connor's a really strong rider. He's usually finishing up front as well. He's one of those guys too that, any given race he has a chance to be on the podium or, have a really high finish. And I think he tried a breakaway at one point, and it didn't work out for him today. And I was just surprised to see him coming off the back on the last lap after I think he got caught in the breakaway. So, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You got to take a chance sometimes, try to get off the front. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. No big deal. Like I said before, it's just racing. Yeah, you can see here we are trying to stretch it out a little bit. Still not the fastest, but we were going 30 earlier on some of the preem laps, and it's just an accordion. This entire race was an accordion. Of course, it's always smoother the further you can get up to the front, but yeah, it's just the nature of it. And I got to say too, I'm not really a big fan of this course. This is not, it's not for me. It's not my type of course. I like it smooth, a little faster, kind of smooth, and I think I like the east side of the courses better. You know, both those either direction for the other side better than the either direction on this side. And I definitely don't like the U-turns. If they ever bring those back, yeah, that's definitely not my style. So yeah, I see Tony in here, and for a second, I wanted to kind of ride Tony out for the rest of the race because I know it's getting closer to crunch time now. Probably have 5-6 laps left, and you know Tony has a lot at stake. You know, going for the Omnium, and you see Tony and Eli right there next to each other. They're 1-2 in the Omnium, so you know it's both wheels are good wheels to follow. You know they have a lot to fight for. They're gonna do everything they can to be there at the end. There was a little dive bomb to my left there. Somebody tried to come underneath me really late, but again, I don't get upset about it. You know, a lot of guys start yelling and all this kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'll say the word. I'll talk to the person, and, you know, or say, hey, just make it earlier next time or something like that. But there's really no reason to be out here doing anything other than bike racing. No threatening people, calling names, all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. Every single one of us have made mistakes, either in a race or riding our bike, driving a car, whatever it is. Nobody's intentionally trying to hurt you. At least I hope not. So yeah, it's not a big deal. But yeah, Tony or Eli, I should have stuck to their wheel. I mean, I knew they'd be there at the end. I knew they'd find a way. They both have a couple teammates if they need it. And it's just good to have use someone to move up and get into position when you know they have a lot to fight for. So my man there from PRT going up the left. I don't know if it's this race. I thought it was this race, but I haven't seen it yet. But talking about mistakes, I made a mistake and carried too much speed in one of the corners and almost hit his back wheel. It was nasty. I mean, it wasn't that bad. Honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. I was the only one that knew about it, actually, me and Eli, because Eli was to my right. But yeah, if I would have clipped his back wheel, which would have been 100% my fault, I would have taken him, me, Eli out, and whoever was behind us. And again, that's just part of it. That's just racing. There's no way, I wasn't, going in there reckless or anything, like, oh, I'm gonna just fly in here. No, it was a normal turn in, carry your corner speed and get out of it. But like I said, we're not carrying a lot of corner speed. So it might be this lap right here at the bottom of the downhill where, I'm expecting us to carry speed. We've settled into the race now, and it bunches up so much that, I almost clipped his back wheel. And I have to adjust a little bit and move right, which of course Eli's to my right. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's right here. Hopefully I don't look too bad. I haven't seen this myself, so hopefully I don't look crazy and take everybody out. But yeah, just right there, I came off, almost ran into him. And you see Eli's looking at me, and Eli was like, whoa, that was close, And I was like, yeah, my bad. I almost clipped his wheel, but I had to sit up. And again, that's what I'm talking about. There's no need to get so upset about every single thing. All of us are out here just racing, I mean, I can admit if I made a mistake, which right there obviously was a mistake. I should have known by now, this is lap 10 or whatever it is, that it bunches up right there. And it doesn't matter that it's later in the race and we're trying to move up. That's just a little desperation. But yeah, that's part of the problem of being back this far. When there's bikes in the way, that's just a wall. There's nothing I can do here other than risk the blow up and use my own energy and I got to shoot up a side, left or right. The results are the same. You either use your energy, find a place to recover, or you sit back here and still have a poor finish. So I have to say today I did not race that well. I think Brandon York went off the front for a little while. I don't know if he's off the front right now. The pace picks up, and when the Peloton ends up catching him, then Go Fast goes off the front, and it just kept it a little hard to move up, hard to find spots. You can see here's a good spot to move up, but no, we're too wide here. I'm not going to be riding that left side so tight and then either forced to hit my brakes or end up dive bombing going in. So it's just this is just the penalty of being out of position. This is what happens when you're back here. Use a lot of energy, blow yourself up, get caught in bad positions, can't get out, can't move up, or it's hard to move up, and that's just what I get for being out of position and being back here. I do have a little room here. I saw Lance fly up, so I jumped around and came up the inside here. I tried to get on George here, my teammate in front of me. So I try to ride him for a second, but still, we're too far back. We got to be up at least 15, 20 spots from where we're at. And I would say that may still be too far back. We look like we're in a good 30th place here. You see how slow it gets. Even though it's strung out on the front, they weren't going that fast through the corner either. It's just a sprint out of every corner, and that's just how crit racing is. I should have moved up right there with the PRT young man that went up the left side there, but I was late. And when you're late, it doesn't make sense to chase after that point. You can wait one more second. That door almost closed on me, and that's me. I would have been late, so I just backed off. And you can see how wide we are now. We're taking the entire road now. And this is the ultimate penalty. When it's taking the entire road, there's like 100% nowhere to go. You can't really go anywhere. It just bites in front of you. Unfortunately, I think this might be the lap here. If you look to the right side, I think there's a crash right here. I don't know if it's this lap or the next one. It looks like it is the next one, possibly. Yeah, I think it's the next one, because I think that's Johan right there in front of the stage 2 rider. And Johan, unfortunately, gets caught up in the crash. With the white helmet to my right here, I think that's Johan there. And I think as this lap coming around, he gets caught up in a crash on the right side after turn 2. And yeah, I'm so far back now. After the crash, I kind of just chill and ride in because I was already too far back. There's nothing I can do. I can ride hard and make up some spots, but for me, knowing I was going to do the second race, to me, I mean, whatever place I came in, which I really don't even know, if I come in 50th or 35th, to me that's no big deal. It's no difference. So I'm not gonna sprint the last lap or whatever to get to 35th place from 50th. Unless I want to. But yeah, I didn't see the need for it here. I just said, okay, I'll save a little energy and race the next race. I've already messed this up. I'm too far back, out of position. If there was a chance for me to get up into the top 10 or something, then yeah, I would do it, or even the top 15. But yeah, I screwed it up. We're going too fast now. We're too far back, and there's no way I'm gonna pass 45 riders in one lap. So if you look to the right side here, this is where you'll see the crash. I actually don't see what happened. I just know that I have to avoid it somewhere. All right, I guess I'm a little premature. Maybe it's the next lap. I guess we got 3 to go instead of 2 to go. Yeah, it's pretty fast now, though. If you looked at the last time we came down the downhill, that was our first time like over 30 miles per hour on the downhill, and we hit 32 miles per hour. And that's just the part that's a little frustrating for someone like myself, that I like it smooth, is we should have been over 30 miles per hour every single time on that downhill. I mean, if we can do 30 miles per hour on the uphill, we definitely should be well over 30 on the downhill. And it just wasn't the case today, no big deal. Every race is different, and every race is going to suit like different players. Some people like it that way. Some people like it punchy like this. So, like they say, horses for courses. So I'm a horse that this course is not for me. And I just didn't race it smart, to be honest with you. That's more of the thing. I just didn't race it smart. And I need to improve with my consistency, staying focused, being exactly where I'm supposed to be. And if I'm not there, work to get there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a crash spot here. You see everybody's moving, working pretty hard. There's desperate people want to move up, and then there's a big crash on the right-hand side over there. So I know Johan, I sent him a message on Strava, so I know he went to the ER. It says no broken bones, just, he's going to be out for a little while. So definitely wishing him a speedy recovery, and I hope to see him make a full recovery and, come back to racing soon. That's my teammate George right there, and him and Johan are pretty close. And I told him, hey, Johan went down, and that just bummed George out too. And he was like, all right, I'm done. He's like, I'd rather check on my boy. So we're at the back anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And like I said, I cashed it in now, and I'm like, well, yeah, I can fight for the top 40. And that's where I saw Connor coming back. So I was a little surprised he was coming back, but he did a big effort trying to break away, and that's just, like I said, that's just what happens sometimes. And if you don't take chances, then you'll definitely never have the results you want. Well, camera dies also. I don't know what's been going on, but I haven't been getting more than like 40 minutes out of my camera. I don't know if my batteries are bad. It is the old GoPro 5, so about to cut off in a second. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll get out the Cat 4.5 video soon, and after that, do something different. I'm gonna do a team time trial in a couple weeks. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon.